Welcome to Anglia Car Auctions. Welcome back. We're here. It's Wednesday evening now, Fred.
It's that time of day again.
It's that time of the year. It's that 5-yearly cycle, and we find ourselves here doing a little video. So it's going to be a long one. We've got a lot to go through. So grab yourself a cup of tea, or indeed, if it's not your thing, go and walk the dog and come back in an hour or so.
Absolutely.
So
strap yourselves in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, we start with this guy. A lovely little
the first car coming in.
First car.
Yeah.
We always have a sort of a quirky or odd car for the first car.
Yeah, so with the immediate post-war era.
Yeah,
with
and
this.
I love it because and again, we hate the word patina, but it does have a little bit of patina.
It does.
It actually came to us. It was the gentleman who put it in. It was his father's, who sadly passed away. It's been sat for around a couple of years. It came to us as a non-runner. Now, what was quite interesting, we do like to try our best here at ACA. I said to the chap, I said, Jeffrey is very handy with the toolbox. I said, it's probably not going to take a lot to get this going. I said, give us an hour or two and let's see what we can do. Sure enough, took the fuel pump apart, resealed it, cleaned all the gunk out.
You're just showing off now, aren't you? Your mechanical ability.
Yeah.
I'm just chuffed to look at this. Now, how about that for an opening windscreen? Let the breeze, the wind in your hair.
Well, it is summertime. You need your aircon, don't you?
Absolutely. So that goes back.
But Jeff, yeah, so he worked his magic. We've been down the road in it. I say no reserve entry. Really exciting to see. So
let's go. So we're not going to dwell too long on any car, but we're going to give you an overview of what's in the sale. Now, there's 250 odd cars.
It's a big sale, isn't it, guys?
Nearly 60 motorcycles, and then of course the automobilia. One of my favourite cars in the sale is this beautiful Alfa Romeo Spider. Now, this is particularly special because it's been owned by the same family, husband and wife, from new. We've got the original bill of sale, so Bell and Colville supplied this back in 1989, and it was Bell and Colville that were responsible for the left to right hand conversion on these.
Which you do see, don't you? Quite often,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty car. Not being used for a few years, so probably a bit of light recommissioning will be needed.
I was going to say, I actually went to the vendor's house to see it. Yeah, it's been sat, but we took it down for the road for the photos, and really, actually quite lovely. 6 to 8 guide.
6 to 8 guide. I think that's really, really sensible. Now, over here, no reserve.
No reserve entry again. Again, a bit of a project, but that's what we like. Ford's always popular in the sale. It is a Ford sale.
There's a lot of Fords in.
If you're a Ford fan,
absolutely. Cortina Mark III, Coca-Cola sort of bottle-shaped car, quite a popular example. MGBs feature heavily as well in the sale.
Really keenly guided as well. £2,000 to £2,500. I said the chances are, but you never know your luck.
You never know your luck for a chrome bumper. Mark 1 MGB GT, lovely, great to see. Sorry, it's not a Mark 1, but we'll go on.
Yep.
So
Citroen,
bright yellow. Look at that.
Again, can't miss it, can you? 75 car, 4 to 6 guide, suspension, everything all works. Again, really quite quirky. The Ford RS. Now, quite an interesting one because we've got 2 in the sale, haven't we?
2 in the sale, both. No reserve. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. So the sale takes place on Saturday and Sunday, the 24th and 25th of August. And don't forget, from tomorrow, so from Thursday and the Friday, is viewing. So come down, have a cup of tea, bacon roll, and come and have a look around the classic cars.
For viewing, so
free to enter for viewings and free to enter for the auction itself. So really good, a good way to spend the day.
Yeah.
911, we've got 2 911s.
996s.
In the sale. Good to see. Mercedes SLK compressor, modern classic.
Yeah, but I like this. It's only done, I think it's around 40,000 miles, isn't it? 40,161. Really quite tidy. Local chap, Kingsland car, drove it here, and again, I think it's one. Keep it nice, hang on to it.
Look at it, enjoy it, and it's interestingly paired with its bigger brother. Now this is the SL, so that's the SLK. This is the SL. It's a 350. I would argue, probably one of the best colours.
Well, you see the silvers a lot, but the blue's just a bit different. And also, again, the magic words, no reserve.
No reserve. So really, really good to see. Just over here, Jaguar XJSC. So this is a manual. Quite often, a lot of these XJSCs were manual, the 3.6s. It's a 5-speed box. I think it's a really good combination with that 3.6 litre straight 6 engine and the 5-speed box.
Again, no reserve.
No reserve, great to see. How about this?
One of my favourites, lovely little Mark 1 Mini, nice early one. So one of our favourites again.
Yeah.
Runs so sweetly. The chap drove it here, and yeah, just really, really spot on.
You were manoeuvring this car last night when we were putting it into place, and I was looking at you, and we have to do quite a bit of shuffling here because when we're moving them around. But the steering, so light, very direct, very nimble. It doesn't get more practical than that as a modern.
And on the button as well, it was just spot on.
Really, really super. Something unusual. So following on from the last sale where we had a BSA car in, we have another one. Now a lot has been done to this. It's had a new wooden frame, there's new aluminium panels. I think much of the mechanicals, the engine's been overhauled. It does need a little bit of finishing off. Yeah. You took it down the road with my son Toby, actually, just to do the video.
Luckily, I think, as I say, Toby was, dare I say, small enough to get in it as well.
He's 40, yeah. Cause
you might have to be slightly, as I say, 6 foot odd me, struggle slightly. But apart from that, it was really, really great fun.
Great to see. So we do, how about this for a modern classic?
Little Daihatsu.
Quite a bit of interest in these, Daihatsu Copen.
We had a low mileage one in the last sale that did really well.
Yep.
And again, this one offered no reserve as well. Driven to the sale, our lady vendor drove it.
Bright red. Fun, quirky little car. These Coopers, the more modern, we say more modern, it's now 20 years old.
It's easy to forget, isn't it?
It is easy to forget. These came out in 2001, this sort of BMW generation Mini. John Cooper Works. Quite a practical car. You've got the supercharger, Mini Cooper S, 4,750 to 5,750. Good value.
No reserve Alpha.
Now, what's special about this one?
Well,
it's the 3-litre V6.
3-litre V6, and again, I think the colour combo is spot on.
Black with that beautiful burgundy interior. Really, really good to see. One of your favourite little cars just down there, Freddie?
Yeah, I'd say I am a Fiat man. I say the little X19. I've got 2 X19s in the sale, actually.
Yes.
This one really keenly guided, 2.5 to 3.5. Again, yes, there's a few bits of paint and things you can do, but quite funky with the gold wheels, and I think £2,500, it's not a lot.
Mid-engined Italian.
Yeah.
Great.
Fun for the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got an XJS here, so another one, second XJS in the sale. Now this is the 4-litre, so still the 6-cylinder one, the straight 6 engine, but it's the facelift version. So you've got a slightly, I actually really like the rear end of these. They're slightly more, they're modernised slightly, but I think it works really well with the flying buttresses. Cracking car, we're guiding this one about 5 to 7. 5 to 7, I think that's very sensible. MGB, GT in orange, what a period colour.
Nice.
Really great to see.
Now, this has had a lot of interest, this Corsair.
It has, Fred.
I know Glenn, who, working in the yards, he loves the Corsair. He's certainly a Ford man, but he was very intrigued by this. Now, since it's been here on site, it was one of the slightly earlier entries to us at ACA. Yep. It is now UK registered.
Yes, so it wasn't registered. So there are plates. I think they're actually on the way to us. We know the number plate. There is a V5.
V5 is now with it. So the hard part has all been done.
Yep. But this tells a story. So when you look at this, Dale, I don't know if you can see over here. So it looks like a really super solid car. But I love this. This has been living in South Africa, so it hasn't had those cold, damp, salty roads in an English winter. But the paint's been sort of rubbed through, it's been cleaned and polished.
I was saying to you earlier, Guy, wasn't I? I said, whoever buys this, I really hope they don't paint it.
Yeah, just leave it exactly as it is.
It's only original once.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, talking of only original once, now something really rare. probably one of the rarest cars in the sale still on UK roads.
I was going to say, according to the website, how many left? A lot of you will know it. Apparently 5 on the road.
5.
Yes.
So be a member of a very, very exclusive club. Datsun Stanza. Now, 5-speed gearbox, so it's quite an elderly car now. How many years old? We're 30.
Well, we'll be.
Gosh, where are we? The maths has gone.
83, so you're doing the maths.
41 years old. 5-speed box. Still super, super sharp in here. Interior is very, very tidy. Japanese build quality. Japanese in the 80s and 90s were pretty much at the peak of things being well made.
Reliability.
They did suffer from a little bit of the old tin worm. Fortunately, this one hasn't. Yeah. So good to see. But rare car, buy it and join an exclusive club.
Yes.
Another great little car. Now this is a running and driving project. Does need attention to the brakes. We've got a handbrake, but we don't have a working foot brake. But it's a 1952 MG. So original.
Yes.
It really, really is. And inside, look at that interior.
Yeah.
Beautiful leather seats. It smells right. You've got the octagonal dials. Really, really good to see.
And again, it's a good starting point for someone, isn't it?
It is. I think this is a car that, yes, you'll have to, the first thing you'll need to do is get some brakes.
Yes.
But what a brilliant, brilliant starting point to go on, use it, improve it. I saw this sticker. So the Kilverstone Wildlife Park, if you grew up in Norfolk and Suffolk and you were a child in the 70s and 80s, you went to Kilverstone Wildlife Park. And I remember growing up, these stickers were everywhere on the local cars. So if you remember that, I don't even know if it still exists or if it's closed down, but great to see little details like that. I love.
Now, I know this is one of your favourites. I took this out with Dan for the photos. Tell me a bit about it, Guy, because I know you really do quite like this.
So, Dale, just have a look at the interior. Look at the driver's seat, if you could.
We're going to play a game of Guess the mileage.
Guess the mileage on this car. It's lovely. Dash is good, feels right, the door's shut. It's 1990. It's a Mercedes. It has done, drum roll, 323,000 miles. It's the 300T, it's the 4MATIC, so the 4-wheel drive automatic version. It's had one owner, but the really interesting thing about this car is how well it's been maintained. If you tally up all the service history, it comes to £161,000. So I'm just gonna.
I think that just is fantastic.
Yeah.
Someone over its lifetime of this vehicle has spent over £161,000
on servicing it. Now, I think sometimes high mileage can be a bit of a worry for people. Absolutely. I think this is actually an asset. This adds to the vehicle.
Generally, as I say, I took it out for the photos, drove it with Dan, did the photos down the road. It drove spot on. You wouldn't know the mileage.
Brilliant.
At all.
Super. So on from this, little MX-5.
Yeah.
This is a Mark II.
Popular again. Quite low mileage. This one. 30. I think what we're now.
39,000 miles. £3,000 to £4,000. Hey, how about this for a bargain?
I will make a mention of this. Now, this one, really, really interesting to see actually. MGA, 61 car, quite nicely presented, paintwork's quite nice. We're only guiding it £10,000 to £12,000. Now, I think it's a tricky one because, I mean, we've been saying, Guy, unfortunately, the market for a lot of the older stuff has turned slightly, but I think, this is a great
get into it. What a pretty car. British classic car. Look at the details. Look at the door handles.
This is the opportunity to buy now, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look after them. Buy now. I just love these little latches. So, yep, we've got that coming through. How about a modern classic, one to tuck away, Porsche 944 Cabriolet, in Guards Red, of course. It is a Porsche.
Yeah.
And of the same era, the Golf convertible. So the Mark I Golf convertible was carried on way after production started on the Mark II. They kept with this shape.
Yep.
Great little great little car, but entered no reserve. So I don't think it's automatic as well. So if maybe you've passed your driving test more recently and you passed in an automatic car, as more and more people are doing now, the options for classics with automatic boxes are somewhat limited. So this is something more modern, automatic that you could use.
Kind of usable.
Yeah, absolutely. As is the Jaguar XK8.
Yep.
Always feature very well in the sale.
Yep.
And this early, so it's a 1964. This is an Austin Mini Traveller. So rather like the Morris Traveller, you've got this wood on the back, but unlike the Morris Traveller, the wood is not structural. So this is actually sort of stuck on wood.
Yes. Yeah.
But great little cars. Yes, it does need some work. But runs and drives.
Yeah. And the other thing as well, Guy, for this sale, we have a few woodies, as we call it.
We do. More on those.
More to come.
More on those later. Absolutely. So we're going outside. So we're still on day one.
Yep.
How about this for a work-a-day, a really working, practical classic?
Now, it was a late entry to us. Again, I did the photos for this one. Really quite nicely presented. It's had a little bit of paintwork to the lower side, but
family have owned it 14 years.
Yeah, it's
entered no reserve.
No reserve entry. Really quite tidy. Dale, if you can have a look just inside, you'll see actually how clean that is.
They're proper little working four-wheel drive. If you still have a need for a utility vehicle, you know, maybe you tow a trailer, but you'd like something a bit different, great.
That's it.
Good to see. And it does come with
a plethora of spares. I will
absolutely.
Say, me and Dan did have fun taking that all out and photographing it, but that's, again, you know, if you need the spares, some of the parts you might struggle
testament to the vehicle that they're still in the car. They haven't been used. So great to see. So classic Mini.
Again, it's a later one, 92, isn't it? Yeah, but I quite like some of the later ones because the later one's a bit more usable. You know, yes, you know, your classic Mark ones, like we mentioned earlier, have got the charm.
I love them all.
Yeah.
I love them all, but yes, you're right. These are, you know, you've got a steering lock and things like that. You actually have wind-up windows as opposed to slidey windows. But yeah, great little cars. Obviously, right up your street, being Italian, Freddie.
Yeah, Fiat 124. We did make a mention of this in our, I think, the first video.
We did. Yeah, absolutely.
3,500 to 4,500. Again, a little bit of tinkering to do, but it's again, not a lot of money, is it?
And just worth mentioning, if you do enjoy watching us ramble and rabbit on,
which
as some would say we can do just subscribe to the channel, sort of like and subscribe, and then you'll get notified of when we're chatting or putting a new video on. How about this
little Cresta
Estate? Now that makes that, it's a rare car anyhow, but as an estate, look at the styling cue. So you've got this front window that sort of goes all the way back, and that wonderfully sculptured rear. Rare car.
Yeah, I think all the seats have been retrimmed, haven't they? The seats and the dashboard.
Yeah.
So that's been done. But yeah, a rarity, certainly.
Good to see that. So Mark 1, MX-5, we've got the Mark 2 in there. We'll mention the other cars coming through. Morris Oxford Saloon, this is the Farina design one. Porsche 924, just over there. And how about the, again, Pininfarina, the Peugeot 306 Cabriolet?
Yes.
Now, how... It doesn't get more practical than that. Porsche Boxster.
Very keenly guided, 2750 to 3750.
Absolute, and a really good history. I think Lynn was telling me that the history on that was great. How about a V10? I'll say it again, V10.
That must sound so
it does. Audi S6. Now, this is the engine, at the same time, I think Audi owned Lamborghini, so I think this is a sort of
derivative
jointly
of that,
developed engine. Same engine in the Gallardo, not the very same, but they
the basis,
shared a lot of things. But sounds epic.
Yeah.
And talking of sounding epic, another Audi. Now this is an S5 convertible. Had, I think, quite a bit of money spent on this. Great looking car, and this actually has a genuine factory RS4 body kit on it.
Okay.
So, and it's actually badged as an RS5, I should say. So it is an S5, but you would be forgiven for thinking it's an RS5.
Yes.
Great to see. And that's £6,000 to £7,000. A lot of car for the money. Really, really turbocharged 3-litre V6.
Absolutely.
Should we mention the Fiat here, or should we get round to it? What do you reckon?
Maybe you should make just a
Let's
little
make mention.
Yeah. So again, sticking with the Italian theme that I so like, little Fiat 127, bright colours. Again, you've got a load of parts in the back too for it. But 2.5 to 3.5 guide.
Great little car.
It's
Again,
sensible.
super rare.
I will say we've got out here. There's some really sort of quite keenly cars guided actually. So keep an eye out on the website. Have a look on there. There'll be something that takes your fancy. We have had quite a few late entries uploaded to the website, so there might be something if you think, oh, I looked last week or something. Trust me,
do
there
keep
is more
just
that's been added
just go
on.
and have another look.
Yeah.
Modern classic, the MG F,
Yeah.
and
reserve.
of course the little Puma Thunder.
No reserve again.
Now again, rarity. Talking of exclusive clubs,
Yeah.
I love going to France. I love the cheese and the wine, but I do love a lot of the French quirky cars. Now this is a Renault 21 Turbo, rare Quadra edition. Find another. I think I'd really challenge you to find
this
another.
is the first one I've seen in person actually.
Yeah,
yeah.
rare car. Freddie.
Mustang.
Bit of a American muscle.
Absolutely. I mean, the again, chap drove it to the sale. 5,000 to 7,000, I think the estimate on that one. So, again, a modern classic, but a usable car.
Absolutely. Saab. We've got several Saab 900s in the sale. We've got a couple of project ones that are going through later on that have come from UK barn finds. But we have this. Now, this is, you'd be forgiven to say, what is it? It's a Saab 90. Now, not many of you know the 99 and you know the 900. But the Saab 90 was a short-lived production where you had the front of the 99 and the rear of the 900. Bit quirky, 1985, guiding this very keenly as well. Yep. Another Mini Cooper S, great little modern classic. One of 3 Mark II Jaguars. This one is a 3.8 manual overdrive. We've got the ST170.
A little Ford collection
Focus,
going on, actually,
there is actually, isn't there?
You've got the you've got the ST again,
Fiesta ST, and then of course the little Fiesta gear,
which have all disappeared. You've got the Scorpio at the back, haven't you? Too.
Absolutely,
again.
the bug-eye Scorpio.
Yeah.
Another classic Mini, and GT6, and this is the Mark III edition GT6. So Spitfire. Many people will confuse it with. It's not a Spitfire. It's a completely different car. You've got a 6-cylinder 2-litre engine and fastback.
GTV Alpha.
Yes, and what engine in this one? I think as well.
3-litre V6.
3-litre V6, the same as the black one.
And I will say that Alpha 3-litre V6, one of the best looking engines.
Best looking
with the
and
pipes.
best sounding engine as well.
Yeah.
Really super. I'm going to mention the Alpina. Now this is a bit of a project car. It's a B10, so it's the 4.6 litre V8. It's a car I think does need some love and attention, but super rare and perhaps an inexpensive way to get into Alpina ownership.
I was going to imagine some of those parts on it alone will probably be worth quite a considerable
Look at the
amount.
Alpina wheels. It's a very very rare car. V6 Renault Laguna. Talking of French oddities like the Renault 21, that's a 3-litre 24 valve. Quite a few calls on this, isn't there?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those, again, some people will look around and they'll think, well, what's that doing in a classic? But again, you've got to remember that this is, 21 years old now.
Yeah.
It's a car, and I think in the last 5 years, I would say, I was having this conversation with Dan in the yard, you don't see these kind of cars
they've just
anymore.
vanished, haven't they?
Yeah, you see everyone is driving about in fairly new cars, and all of these have disappeared.
Yeah, great to see. Here we have a Land Rover. So we've got several Land Rovers in the auction. This is a 2A pickups, 1969. Great to see. I love a Land Rover. I had several of these. So this is a Land Cruiser, the Colorado, 3-litre turbo diesel. You'll see these with intergalactic mileages.
Yeah.
They drive so well. This one I think does need a little bit of attention on I can't remember, we've got a description of it on the web, but what's really important to note is that where these do suffer, and they did suffer from the rot, the seals, inner seals, all nice and solid. So a great car, and if ever there was a practical vehicle, that would be it.
Now I know you really like this guy, don't you?
I do. So again, another Land Rover Series 2A, quite scruffy in its appearance, but that hides a few little things. So if we were to come around here, the door looks old and original, but they're actually brand new door bottoms, brand new door tops. You've got the deluxe seats.
Seats all been done, haven't they? Yeah,
you've got a new canvas roof with the divider, so when you're driving in the winter and the heaters aren't that great, that just acts to keep the heat in the front. Driven to the auction, well shod, good tyres, good solid chassis, top end engine overhaul, rebuilt front axle. So there's a lot that's gone into that.
And no reserve Capri, which I think will get, again, the Ford fans excited.
Absolutely.
So that'd be an interesting one.
We do love a no reserve Ford. Jaguar S-Type. Now this is a 3.4. Good looking car, the S-Type, and it's a manual.
Yes,
so great to see.
It will just require, we did note just on our drive out, throttle's a bit sticky, so it's something just to make it.
I don't think it's been used much, probably wants a little bit of titivation. Wow, look at that. I've got my reactive glasses on. If you want to stand out from the crowd,
you're not going to find another, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Audi TT, this is the 3.2, so it's the V6 version, makes it a little bit rarer. A few little styling cues from the 3.2 with these front bumpers, which you won't see on the 1.8s.
No.
But yeah, great little car to stand out.
Yeah.
Modern. Cayman. Well, I say modern. 18 years old now.
Again, easy to forget, isn't it?
A shape that's really, I think, weathered well. It's the time has been very, very kind to it. Black on black, Tiptronic. Great.
Looks the part, doesn't it? 8 to 10 guys.
8 to 10,000. I don't think that's dear. We'll go down the middle of this so we can do a double one.
Yep.
So, Ford Escort van. Love a Ford Escort. Love a commercial.
We know Mitch will be looking that way.
And Mark II Mitch, absolutely. So Mercedes SLK, another one in the sale. Another MGB GT in white. Actually looks really quite sharp in white, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that. And the MGBs, they've always got a following because, again, you can get all the parts.
Parts availability is brilliant. They drive well. You could use one of those as a daily quite happily.
Yep.
One of two red Lotus Elan M100s in the sale.
Because we've got this one on Saturday, the following one will be on Sunday, won't it?
So you can have the choice of one a day, buy both. Absolutely. Audi RS4, now this is the 2.7 twin turbo, has done a lot of miles. This has done 270, God, where are we? 276,000 miles. Owned by our vendor for many, many, many years. But it's German, it's very well built.
And it's got the power, hasn't it?
And it's got the power. Jaguar XKR, we've got a couple of these in the sale, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Again, I think that the other one will be on the Sunday.
Super.
But, value for money, they're you think what that would have been new.
Talking of value for money,
yes.
So we mentioned these little Coopers earlier. This one's a little bit different. If you see stripped out bucket seats, roll cage, you're going to have a huge amount of fun.
Our vendor sent me the parts list and the list of what's been done to it, and it was about 2 pages worth of just everything. So, because I think we guided that 6 to 8, but if you tried to build that,
you couldn't. But you've got to buy the car, a Cooper S to begin with, and then spend all the money. Just as we're talking about this one.
Yes, yeah. Now this one's ready to rally, isn't it?
It's had a lot done to it. You've got the trip meter in there, battery isolator switch, later seats. Now we did work out what they were from, but they are far more comfortable than the original Mercedes seats. It's the 280C, it's 1974, so it's actually 50 years old. Great car, 6-cylinder, really, really good fun.
Again, a little track MG
We've
midget.
got a little bit of a grouping here, isn't there?
It's almost like we've planned it, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little track MG midget.
No reserve this one?
Yeah, no reserve.
Yep.
So,
BMW 840, CI, again, wants a little bit of work, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got, as I say, a little bit of paint to the bumpers, but generally speaking, otherwise not too bad. You were saying earlier about how, like with the Porsche, how cars have aged. I think this in particular, the pop-up headlamps, so cool. I know David has a particular soft spot for these, but yeah, I really like it. 6 to 8 guide on that.
Brilliant. Jaguar X-Type Estate, again, what a practical modern classic, 19 years old. The XJC, so 4.2, the coupe, super stylish.
That photographed so well, didn't it? It looks so nice in the sun. The paint on that, it just, when you catch in the sun, just glistens perfectly.
Yeah, it's got a metallic sheen to it. How about a Maserati 3200 GT for something Italian and exotic? And then we're going to start down this road. So we've got German. So the E28, low owner car. This is one owner? Let me just have a look. One owner from new.
Wow.
Been stored for a little while unused, but manual gearbox as well. Proper running and driving little classic that you could improve over time.
Now, Austin 10, again, a little bit of a project, but it's got that charm, it's got that quirk.
It's got that smell.
The smell. Yeah. We often talk about classic car smells, and I think this passes with flying colours.
Absolutely, we must.
I think that will be an interesting one to see. Again, keenly guided. XK8, another one we've got.
Yep, convertible. And then we have. So we looked at the Rover over there, the Rover Estate. This is the MG version, so it's the ZT. It's the 2.5 litre V6. Great little modern practical classic.
Yep.
Talking of practical modern classics, Italian. Over to you, Freddie.
Alpha Spider, yeah, we really like these here at ACA. Again, you'll see in the sale we do have some good quality convertibles for the summer, and I think that'll be interesting to see.
As ever, what seems to be happening, it's always a late summer now.
Yes.
So don't think you've missed it. It's only just beginning.
Well, it's still there.
It's still there, absolutely. Little Vauxhall Corsa Envoy. We've got another Mercedes, no reserve. Wants a few bits doing to it, but it's an SL 350, no reserve. Another Ford Focus ST 170, and we have the Mondeo ST 220.
Yeah, again, sticking with the Ford theme. I think that'll be an interesting one to see. And vendor describes it's running well.
Yeah. One of the strongest colours again, I think, for the Mondeo is this beautiful blue. I forget the actual factory term for it, but it does really, really stand out. Rover P5 Coupe.
Yep.
Again, how British
is that?
Absolutely. It's the V8, so it's the Buick derived Rover V8. BMW 6 Series Coupe here as well.
Again, a bit of a future classic, but yeah, a lot of car for the money.
A huge amount of car for the money. Mercedes SLK, and then we'll go past. Here we are, look, we've got another Rover P5 Coupe, another Ford Escort van, we've got a Vauxhall Astra convertible. This wants a little bit of work, doesn't it? Running and driving. It's the exclusive 2 litre edition.
You too can be exclusive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No reserve, we should say as well.
Audi TT.
Another TT.
And again, this is a 3.2 as well,
yeah.
so the rarer version, good to see.
Yeah.
MGB Roadster in red. We've got a Rover P4 just here, running and driving. Volvo
850.
What a car.
Also, I'll point out, since being at ACA, has had a brand new windscreen fitted. So
yes, the Auto Glass man, or who?
Yes,
or who,
yeah, he was hard
came
at
to
work.
do that.
But yeah, they're properly reliable.
They're brilliant.
So you can have some fun with that.
Brilliant car. How about this? So we've got the saloon, the Granada over there. This is the estate. It's a 5-speed manual. Practical. We've got another Ford, so interesting to see. And I'm going to mention this as a car that a lot of you perhaps wouldn't associate with a classic car auction.
I was going to say, this is quite a curveball, isn't it?
It is a curveball, but if you were to ask many of the youngsters now what cars they wanted, what cars they remember, this is probably the future, isn't it? In many ways.
It's 20 years old, but it's sensible mileage. I think off the top of my head around 60 odd, I think. So 60 odd thousand, 65,000.
And Seat. So Seat is going to be discontinued as a brand, as far as I'm aware, in the UK. They're just going to be, obviously they're going to be called the Coupe under the Cupra brand.
Okay.
And I think they're going to be continuing making scooters. But so one maybe to look after, tuck away for the future. It's the 20 valve 1.8 turbo, and those engines are very tractable and tunable. Another 3-litre GTV.
Yeah, again, sounds awesome.
they are mega, and a really good little wants a little bit of cosmetic and restoration. You can see some corrosion in the A panels there, but a classic Mini, running and driving, 2,000 to 2,500.
Yeah, £2,000. So
it's not expensive. And how about this 2.8 injection Capri with the very period body kit on it, running and driving, and we're guiding this for a 2.8 Capri at £5,000 to £7,000. I don't think that's dear.
Yeah.
You've got the Recaro seats inside, RS steering wheel, 5-speed manual car. Yes, it wants some work, but it's a bit of fun. MGB Roadster, and this one,
I will say this one, so it's had a restoration. Now I think if we just look on the someone's having some fun, I can hear
on the estate. Nothing to do with us.
I was going to say hopefully not one of our drivers. But this one, as I say, it's been in the ownership quite a while. Now I think, there we go, received a £12,000 restoration in 2022.
Yeah, that's good to see. So this isn't a soft, it is a soft top, but this is actually a hard top, and this is an aftermarket Lenham hard top.
Yeah.
And we've got another interesting aftermarket hard top, which we'll show you later. So should we go, let's go back up the middle of these.
On this one, yep.
2 Jags. No, 1 Jag, 1 Daimler.
Yes.
So Jaguar 420G, the widest ever British production car up until the Jaguar XJ220, apparently. 4.2 litre, 6-cylinder engine, triple SUs, enough wood. Oh, does smell.
Again,
it does smell pretty good.
Spot on.
Yeah, really, really great, with all the toggle switches, the wooden dashboard, the leather.
Triple carbs.
Triple carb, brilliant. And this Series 3 Daimler, quite an interesting car. The colour's unusual as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit different.
But 1985. Mercedes 123 CE, this is a 230 CE coupe, automatic, great practical cars, very well built, guiding this 4 to 6.
Vauxhall VX490, so been private collection for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And £3,000 to £4,000.
I've gone to move this car several times, and it always just goes brum, fires straight up. Really, really impressive. Little Volkswagen Beetle. We did sell this in the last sale. It's never left.
I was going to say it hasn't been off site. I think unfortunately due to change of circumstances.
Change of circumstances, it's being offered again. It's a restoration project, but it does run and drive.
And it's no reserve.
No reserve. MGF, great to see.
Low mileage as well. I think that was about 40,000 miles.
Really lovely colour.
Yes, yeah, bit different. Another SLK. Again, we've got a few Mercedes in the sale. Now, the topless Mini, I will make a mention. Again, it was in our last sale. We've, I think, adjusted the guide a little bit.
Yeah, the reserve and guide have been reduced. Does come complete with the trailer. Really, really. So we've got a really vibrant colour. next to this Triumph Stag.
Yes.
Really vibrant colour. Running and driving, once taking a little bit further on.
Yeah.
But
3 to 4,000 though, so we've
it's
reflected
not
it in,
a lot of money for a Stag, is it?
in the guide.
Saab 9000, we've got a BMW Z3. I'm going to mention this. So I like the Z3, particularly the 6-cylinder variant, and this is a 3-litre 6-cylinder manual. So great fun.
The one you want.
The one you want, and this is not an expensive car, is it?
No, two and a half
to 3.5.
Yep. The Nissan S-Car.
Wow.
Now, if you've never seen one of these,
Can you imagine how it got its name?
yes. But I took this down the road again with Dan to do the photos. I would say actually, probably one of the easiest cars I've driven at ACA.
Well, do you know why that is? What's it based on?
Am I right in saying a Figaro?
No, it's a Micra. So the Figaro is based on a Micra, and the Escargot is based on a Micra. So you've got classic 1990s Japanese running gear, automatic, easy as anything, great fun.
Absolutely.
Mini Cooper S Camden, so limited edition. They didn't make many of these. I think it was to celebrate the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
But really, really interesting car. Good to see. I love the 107 SL Mercedes. They can be quite pricey though, can't they? So if
this one.
if you don't have hugely deep pockets, it's a post 85 car. So it's an 86 car, better gearbox, showing about 87,000 miles. Runs and drives. Wants some work.
Yeah, it's been off the road a few years, but 3 to 4,000
3 to 4.
pounds.
God, that's really worth keeping an eye on. One of two in the sale, 350Zs. We've got this coupe and we have a convertible in on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Cracking cars. Entered by a lovely lady, this Jaguar. I think these are...
Really nicely presented actually.
They're brilliant. Inside, I had several of these when I was younger and the cars were younger.
Yes.
And I think they drive fantastically. V8.
Paintwork's nice because, dare I say, you do see some that unfortunately
A little
have
bit scruffy.
Less of a.
We've got this 1750 to 2.25.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money for a bit of British motoring.
Yeah.
British racing green as well.
Another convertible.
Sub 93. It's the Aero convertible. Great practical classic. The Mazda MX-6 V6 ABS.
Yeah.
Again, where you don't see many of those on the road. No. Mondeo ST24, the 24 valve one. And over here, how about this? So it's the Toyota, it's the Mark 1 R2, and I think we've got two Mark 1s in the sale.
Yes, yeah, we do. We have the late entry to us.
We do indeed. 5,000 to 7,000 pounds, one owner.
Amazing.
I think that's one to watch. How about a little Vauxhall Nova? This is the facelift Nova,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Showing sensible mileage, I think, as well. It was, let's have a look, I think 49,000 miles on it, driven 50 miles to the auction as well. But
Yeah. I remember my mum having a Nova. She had two. The first one was a 4-speed 1 litre in stunning beige.
Stunning.
And then it went on to a later 1.2 5-speed.
We then upgraded to hearing aid beige. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make mention. I'll tell you what we'll do. Have a look out here.
Yes.
Oh no, we're being directed by Dale. So, Volkswagen Transporter Caravelle. Again, practical load lugger, family vehicle, classic car, huge network of spares. Range Rover 4.6 V8.
No reserve
auto,
entry.
no reserve. And if you like your vehicles big and chunky, 2007 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. Look at those tyres. Step up into here. It's massive. It's not the biggest car we have in the sale. We'll mention that one later.
There is an
but
for
a lot of modifications have been done to this, but what a bit of fun. Land Rover 110 Defender.
Yep.
It's the TDI. There are some parts that go with this, so I think it's got new doors.
It's got a set of brand new painted doors,
Yep.
and I mean, like I said, those on their
They're
own,
expensive.
They're expensive. To get.
So great vehicle. I'm a big fan of these, as you know. Here we have another Land Rover Series 2. Great to see. That's the third Series 2 we have in the sale. This is a 59. So the other two ones we have are 2As. This is actually a Series 2, and I think the chassis number, if I'm not mistaken, this is possibly the 148th on
Really?
the chassis number. Yeah, so
wow.
if you look at that,
Yeah.
someone with far more Land Rover knowledge will enlighten me.
We do quite well on these Land Rovers. I think Norfolk in particular is the place for it, isn't it?
I know they weren't made here, but it is sort of the home of Land Rover. Another Volkswagen that's been converted into a camper. So you've got the high top, great fun.
Yeah.
Late summer, weekends away and holidays. Jaguar S-Type 3.8 automatic. So we've got the manual over there. This is a 3.8 auto.
Yep.
And we're just going to mention the cars that are going through on Saturday outside. So this is sort of the project area, sometimes referred to as the Field of
The
Dreams.
Field of Dreams, which we can all be the judge of that, can't we?
Little BMW 728i auto. Here we have a early Ford Escort XR3i.
Yes.
I think this is going to have a lot of interest.
Yeah, I've had a few phone calls on this actually, and I'm not surprised, to be fair. Sort of barn find, garage finds always do well.
How that goes. Little Austin A35, one of two in the sale. Oh, look at this. How about? I mean, this is something made in Norfolk. A Lotus Elite. Look at that. If you love a wedge. Oh.
Yeah, so there's nothing else quite like them, is there?
No.
No reserve as well.
Yeah, great little project. Obviously fiberglass body on a steel chassis.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we have the Alvis.
Now, am I right, Guy, in saying this would probably be quite a good opportunity to be made into a
special.
A special.
So we've got some late news on this. We actually now have a V5.
Right.
And we know the ID. So that's quite an interesting project for someone. Little Spitfire.
Yeah.
Display, if you look at the gear knob, it's got the overdrive switch. Obviously we haven't tested it, but
No.
one would assume or hope that there's still overdrive here.
I think, as I say, mechanically there was, as I say, we'll want some work to the engine. We put it in the description, but it's no reserve. And the nice thing about these cars, pretty much most of these are no reserve.
Yep.
So
That's it. So we've got the Rover P4 100, and behind it we have a Volvo P1800. If you fancy playing your part as Roger Moore in The Saint, then that's the car. Yeah. That's the car for you. Saab 900 Turbo from UK Barn Finds. Actually, 3 Saabs here in a row. If you just glide your camera over these Swedish beauties. German Volkswagen Beetle, Carmen convertible, no reserve, left-hand drive. Quite a sought-after car.
Yeah.
And again, spares availability is brilliant.
Little Austin A35. I actually went out to see this at the garage, and at the garage it was in, and I think it'd been there for quite some time. In fact, it had to. When I saw it, I've got the photo, and I'll try and put it up on the website just so everyone can see it. But it was, I could not see the side of the car. It was that tightly packed into the garage.
Brilliant. And a Norfolk number plate.
Norfolk plate.
So
yes.
AH is a locally issued plate, and we always like to see local cars. That car has not travelled far, has it?
No.
In its life.
Well, as David says, a day out of Norfolk is a day wasted.
A day wasted, yes. How about this for a Rover P5 Coupe project? And then we've got a Golf Cabriolet automatic, which is the Series 3, and we have the Volvo 340 project. Now this does run and drive. We've actually been running and driving it, but I think the fuel line's blocked, so it's now not running. We're selling it as a non-runner, and if you buy too many things that you get moaned at moving around the garden,
Yes.
buy a dumper.
Yeah.
We've not had it running. I would love to have a play with it, but a little bit of fun, as is this little grey Fergie, little 4-cylinder petrol engine.
Tractor as
Again,
well. Yeah.
no, we've got, actually there is a number plate on the front, ODE 321. I have to have a little check to see if that's live, but looks like it's got decent tyres on it.
And
Shall we now go inside?
yeah,
Dale.
let's have a look.
Sorry?
End of day one.
End of Dale's, who's behind the camera. He's been a little bit quiet, but this is end of day one. He's going to change the battery, he's just indicating, and we're going to go into day two. So apparently, according to Dale,
We're on strict instructions.
to speed up. What does that mean?
Slow down.
Anyhow, so we're starting day two, starting Sunday, with a few of the projects that are inside.
Yes.
And I'm going to mention Porsche 928. Now, I was talking to the lady whose family have owned this car from new, and she remembers her mum ordering this car, not liking it because she didn't like the colour, but the Porsche dealership actually painted the lines on because she liked the Martini line, so they did their own little version. She ordered it new, she'd broken her leg, and she was in the back seat, the little bucket seats with a leg up in plaster driving back. So they've had this car from new. Wow. It was in England in 1990, went to the Isle of Man, still registered in the Isle of Man, just wants UK registering, but still live on the DVLA, exported since 1990. So a bit of a project. Yeah. £6,000 to £8,000 as a guide.
That's it.
How about this for a no reserve Mini? It's the little Mini Mayfair, great to see.
Yeah.
Over there, Jaguar E-Type.
Yep. That'll be an interesting one. I think we've had quite a bit of online interest on that.
Good to see. And a car, we did mention this in an earlier video.
We did, yes.
I love this.
Again, it had a bit of a story to it.
And we mentioned stickers earlier.
Yes, we will just make a mention of stickers. I think you'll see on the back, and we made a mention before, you've got your peace sticker, you've got your,
this campaign for disarmament. Now, is that dis campaign for disarmament, or is it dis the town? It is obviously dis the town. And the rear dad, Hash House Harriers. So quite an unusual combination of stickers on that, but owned for 50 odd years.
Yes. Yeah. No reserve.
No reserve.
Lots of these are no reserve.
Great to see. Now, Lynn, I'm sorry, I'll let you carry on because you were talking to the people on this.
Yes, this for test. Our vendor actually did pop in the other day, and he was so pleased to see it here as well, because we just started laying out the cars, and he said it was great. He said big props to Neil as well, who came and collected it. But this for Tess, it's been I think we said here, purchased by the vendor's father when it was new. So it's been family ownership.
Family owned from new. And Lynn, who owns Anglia Car Auction, who's doing the description, she said to me today, do you know, the standout car for me of the auction is this, because she said, I love the history of it.
Yes.
And the box and what comes with it. So there you are. There is the recommendation from the top.
From the owner. Yes.
From the owner. Little Robin Hood project wants finishing, doesn't it?
Yeah, but actually, again, this was a very early entry to us. Wants finishing, but most of the hard work, most of it has been done. I don't think you would actually need too much to it. And I was really pleasantly surprised when it arrived, because we hadn't had much detail. And when it arrived, I was like, that's
nice.
Yeah, really quite nice.
Alvis TD21, this is a 1962 car in this rather striking gold.
We've had some results with TD21s before, actually. We've had some quite good...
We have. Yeah. I mean, this one's been off the road for, I think, the best part of 35, 40 years. It is a manual gearbox car. Our vendors owned it for decades. Bit of a project, rolls freely.
Matching numbers,
which is important. So if you want a little bit more of a head start than the project we looked at just a few moments ago outside, then this perhaps is for you. And I'm going to mention this car. So we've got two Lotuses from the same home, the other Elan, the M100 in there. This has come from a deceased estate. I went to have a look at it, and the lady's husband bought this car brand new as an Elan. He worked as a boat builder, hence the rubbing strips.
You can kind of tell almost.
It's brilliant. There's a few little tricks, but it's one owner from new. It's so important. The interior is lovely. It's got the Colin Chapman signed steering wheel. Now these are little S4 Elans are fabulous cars. But what ties this one in So in about 1990, we've got the tax disc on there. Can you see that?
91.
91. He bought the new Lotus Elan and parked this up.
Really?
So he owned this from new, and the other one he's owned from new as well. So two great little cars for the auction, but I'm particularly fond of Lotuses. So we move on, swiftly on as they say, going into Hall 3.
Yes, so this is obviously, as I say, continuing with the Sunday cars. And we were hard at work last night, weren't we, Guy? Just laying out the final cars.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
And it's a big team here, and they all pull together. So we were here till about 9 last night, and it's quite it's a team effort. Oh no, I don't like that there. We're putting that here. We're trying to fit them in colours. It's very important.
I was going to say, it's a question I get a lot actually. People say to us, they say, well, how do you put stuff where? And I said, there's sometimes no rhyme or reason to it, but there's a lot of things that you won't think. So like you say, colour-wise, you don't want too many red cars together. Height, you don't want too many Alphas together, you don't want too many Nissans together, you don't want... It's all about working. And also, I think we did about 4 or 5 attempts at the front here, just thinking, actually, what
works? It's not the pick a stick. We don't just label all the cars, throw them in the air and see where they land.
No. It's not.
There's a little bit to it.
And we do try and make an effort here, because it's not a case of just lining them up row after row and stick a number, that's done. It's we do our best, and hopefully you can see that.
So, and I think, so we've got 2 Italian exotic beauties, both in bright red. Look at this Alpha.
Just stunning, isn't it?
Really, really stunning. Now, this car spent some time, up until 1990, in Kenya.
Okay.
And I spent some time in Kenya around that time. This must have been such a rare car to be driving around Nairobi or wherever it was.
But I think that's done a world of good, because it's preserved it very well. Obviously, It's had a restoration, but the basis is there. You know, it's a good car to start with. So
brilliant car. Yeah. Ferrari F355 Spider manual, so it's got that beautiful gated gear change. It's right-hand drive, so the colour's right, the interior, the Magnolia interior is right, the gearbox is right, the model's right. What a fabulous looking car.
Yeah.
Really like that. And we're guiding this 65 to 70. Equally interesting, but on the British front.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Still nice. Now, this is the Vanquish, but it's the S. So again, it's the one you want. Vendor actually was not too far from us, sort of local, drove it here. Lynn very kindly gave him a lift back actually. But we've guided this 50 to 60, and I think, again,
what a lot of car.
What a lot of car.
What a lot of car for the money. So, now look at this. This is going to have huge interest in the sale. So Subaru.
I know Dale's got his eye on this.
WRX, yeah. You particularly like this. What makes this Pro Drive edition so rare is it's one owner from new. So perhaps this really is one to tuck away. Guided 12 to 15.
I will just make a mention of this. One of my favourites, this little Viva. Now, it's not like Vauxhall have actually reintroduced the Viva, and unfortunately not quite like the original, I must say.
No.
This Viva is lovely. I think it's showing about 35,000 miles. You'll see, Dale, if you can just pan into the interior.
It's a great looking car,
how original it is. Lovely. Offered no reserve. It's the 1300, it's the GLS, and really nice to see. I think that will do particularly well. Brilliant.
Now, a late Mini, a late classic Mini, so you've got all the bells and whistles on this. Chunkier arches, wider track, leather interior, about 1989 I think. Yep. Really super car. One of my favourite sporting escorts is the RS 1600. I love those decals on the bonnet. I just really do, always have. And talking of sporting Fords.
So this is the other RS that we've got. Now, same year, and again, it was really weird, wasn't it? Same year, same colour, obviously the RS, and again, no reserve. So
this is in fabulous condition. Really attractive car. So do come down and have a look. Do actually come and visit us in Kings Lynn. We'd love to see you. So we've got two cars here, completely poles apart. Rover P3, sorry, P3, going mad, 75 Sports, with the freewheel on the dash, driven to the auction from Norwich. Just a pretty, just a lovely looking car. And here, BMW Z3. So we looked at the Z3 outside, totally and utterly different. This is the Z3M Coupe. It's a rare car, manual box, cracking colour combination with those two-tone leather seats, the black and red with this contrasting silver.
There's nothing
interior.
else quite like it as well.
No.
They sort of nickname them the kind of bread van, don't they?
Yeah.
It's
It's
really,
brilliant.
Really
I really just love. Look at the quad exhaust out the back. It's fabulous. Here we have another Ford. We've got this. I love this little theme. So it's the Mark II Cortina Super.
But 1600s, they do quite well here. Again, we've had a couple go through sort of not too long ago, and I think they're one everyone remembers them, don't they?
Everybody, work-a-day, classic cars. It's tidy inside.
Yeah, nice bit of chrome on the front. You've got two.
Probably
two
most people will be able to say that their uncle, their granddad, their mate had one of these. Now, the same cannot be said
for what's
this.
Next to you.
If you were lucky enough and your dad had one, you had one, or your uncle had one, growing up, well, you had an interesting life. Not many of these are made, are they?
No, and I will say, so when this arrived to us, we put an MOT on it actually because it's been in storage.
Yeah, you drove it, you loved it, didn't you?
I drove it to the MOT station, and when I came back, I was absolutely spot on. It passed no advisories as well, we'll add, and it was absolutely spot on. 25 to 30 the estimate on this.
I don't think that's a huge amount of money
would
for this.
Probably have added 100 grand to that when it was new.
Probably, maybe even plus that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they were a lot of money when new, and they are such a superbly elegant car.
Absolutely.
They're very subtle. Talking of not subtle, I love this Ford Taurus. So not a car that was sold in the UK, the two-door version of the Cortina. It's left-hand drive, but fitted with a V6 engine. It sounds as loud as it looks.
I was going to say, it might possibly still be, obviously not of the similar era, but might possibly still be a Ford colour maybe, because some of the RS...
I think this is a modern, so your RS Focus, I think it does look like a Ford colour, but it sounds brilliant. Driven to the sale, lovely vendor. Let's just see where this goes.
The camper behind you, I will make a mention of this. Now, what's really interesting, I always say with these ones. So you look at it and you think, oh, well, it's a 70s T2 camper. Now the thing about this is one, and I know you've got your eyes on the seat. We'll give you a clue. So, Doe, if you can have a look inside, again, you think, this is a 70s T2 camper. It's not. It's a 2006, and it's because it's one of the later ones. They're one of the run-out ones for, I believe, the Brazilian market.
Made in Brazil, yes.
Yeah. And but I think it's great because it's a lot more usable than, say, like your 70s one. You've got the proper seats, the engine, I think...
Top roof,
engine's tuned, and I think it's one that you've still got the look, but you can kind of actually use it. It's not going to be something that you think when you finally get to your camping destination, you think, oh well, I've had enough of that. You know? So, but that's interesting to see. Also been in long-term ownership actually as well. So
brilliant. Jaguar XJ6. I still love these cars. 3.4 automatic, really deep.
Paint on that is very good, isn't it?
Lovely to see. Now, we had a lot of fun. So an afternoon, the video's on the website, so do just have a look. We thought we'd go for a quick drive down into town. We'd show a few of you that aren't familiar with Kings Lynn a little bit of what Kings Lynn has to offer down by the Customs House. And we picked this car to do it in.
Yeah, now, and the attention it got as well, which we did make a mention of.
But yeah, well, actually 3 people. We had a chap came out of the pub to come and talk to me when you were taking a video of the key, just said I had to come over and talk to you. We had a group of lads say, "Oh God, Mister, pop the lights." We had a bloke on the level crossing
that stopped.
And he's like, real thumbs up. So this is a special car. Mileage wise, I wish my eyes would work better. 68,000 miles. It's a UK car, UK supplied,
and it's one registered owner plus
owner.
the dealer for one day.
Yeah, so it'd be a pre-registered car. So basically, it's a one-owner car from a day old, but he had it.
Yeah.
He had it from new. Super rare car. This is definitely a car to put into a collection.
Definitely.
16 to 20,000 pounds. I think another one, a good pairing. How about this, Freddie? For if you're doing your future classics, your modern classic garage, it's gonna
you'd have
feature
one of these.
the Nissan. It's gonna feature, well, I'm gonna say the Subaru at the front, the black one, and have a white one as well. Fabulous.
I think this is going to be quite interesting.
No reserve.
No reserve, which is, again, we've got some exciting, it's not just the Saturday cars that we've got loads of no reserve, we have got some in here.
Yeah.
There's plenty, I know, coming up a bit later.
Fabulous underneath as well.
Yeah.
We've seen photos underneath. Really great car. Now, how about this for a Ford Zodiac? Now, this is a Farnham estate, so a little bit like the Cresta, the Vauxhall we looked at outside. This is a period estate. Now, estate cars were very rare back in the day. We've got an even rarer one over there, perhaps. But yeah, proper fun classic car.
Featured on a certain not-to-name TV show.
Oh, it did
as well.
feature on a certain not-to-be-named TV show that might have an auction of classic cars. Jaguar XJ SC. Look at this. I love the colour. Sets it off. You've got these aftermarket wheels and this body kit. It's just so very 80s, but it's in fabulous condition, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, no, really. I like it white.
It's sort of come back.
Now, the minivan, I mean, again, unfortunately, we picked this up. It was a little bit of a later arrival, so we haven't had it too long. But when it arrived, I said to you guys, oh my.
I don't think we've had a better minivan in the auction.
Now, the thing is, as I say, and Dave, you just have to have a look. Have a look in here, where minis always go. Look at that. Look how clean it is. Look at the arches. Look at the bottom there. It is just mint.
Yep, it's lovely. And talking of lovely, how about this? Vauxhall Magnum Estate.
A really rare car. We did sell, I remember that was probably a couple of years ago now, we did sell a Magnum Project, and that was the only one I'd seen. Yep. And this one, I think, is probably the only one we're going to see running.
So look at the side, look at the length of that rear side window. Yep. Fabulous car, brilliant, a really classy colour. It just sort of quite subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, when we were moving it about as well, again, when we were sort of working away last night, it actually, again, on the button, runs really quite nicely.
This is the Lotus that replaced, so this is the 91 Lotus that replaced the Elan which we saw earlier. So one Elan, mothballed, and this Elan used, but he didn't use it very much. We've got 44,000 miles on the clock. It's the turbo edition. I think I love the shape of these. It's the Isuzu engine.
Yes.
So you should have some pretty good reliability with that. How about one of two Sunbeam Alpines? This is a Series 2 with a hardtop. A fabulous colour, this blue with that contrasting red interior. It's oh so James Bond, and I've completely forgotten the name of the female actress that drove.
I think you will have to ask Mr. Richard Gunn in the office.
Yes, Mr. Richard Gunn will tell us. Fabulous XK. Oh, sorry, just losing my voice for a moment. XKR, and I think this is pretty low mileage as well, isn't it?
Yeah, this one I think. Let's have a quick wander. Again, it was two in the sale that we've got. This one I think being 2002, and let's just have a look.
Those sort of split rim alloy wheels.
Showing 52.
52, so that's brilliant.
Very sensible.
Ford console saloon. What a fabulous looking car. How British and wonderful to see. Great colour combination. Next to the Thames van. And something a little bit different. So it's the Vanden Plas 4-litre auto limousine. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can open the rear door for Dale. I love this car. I really do. Dale, just have a little look through there.
It's fit for royalty, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't actually designed. Well, this car didn't end up as its first owner for royalty, but it went to the Ministry of Defence. So the MOD had this car from new. So you can imagine brigadier or generals being ferried around to very official occasions. This was some serious people. If cars could talk, this would have heard some very interesting goings on. Yeah. And it went to its first private owner in 1972, and he had it, I think, till about 1980. But it's lovely.
Yes.
And just go on about the smell again.
Passes the test.
Yes. Freddie, tell us about, well, the loudest car
in the sale. Now, this Trans Am has had significant money spent on it. In fact, our vendor was actually here today. He was polishing away. I'll say our vendor, lovely chap, really, really particular. So always a nice sign to see.
And he's had it about 20 years, hasn't he?
He's had it a long time. But it was just so nice. I think he would be very sad to see it go. He was telling me when he dropped it off, because again, it was an early entry to us, he's unfortunately the purchase of another car has forced him to part with this one, but he said he never ever thought he would. So
on the strict one in, one out basis, I think.
That's it, yes,
unfortunately.
Now
this has been owned by a lady since quite some time, actually. It's the 996 Turbo. So Tiptronic. A lot of people go on about the one to have being the manual. But if you drive a Tiptronic, they're actually lovely. And I would argue now, out of choice, I would go automatic over a manual on a later 911. 28 to 32,000 pounds. It's an inexpensive. So our lady owners had this for the last 14 years. So great to see. Ones at the front will come down to Healy 3000. Ford Capri 2-litre S, no reserve. That's a really sharp car. Again, white. I'm really getting the white at the minute.
Yes, yeah. I think that's summer colour, isn't it?
Yeah, so great to see, no reserve.
The Vanden Plas Daimler, which the amount of people that have looked at the car just on the colour alone.
Now it's coral.
Have it.
No, I'm going to look at this. So it's the V12, so it's the 66. It's a previous show-winning car, including the Benson and Hedges Concours back in 1987. Did we make coral metallic?
There you go.
So a colour unique to the Vanden Plas. So good to see. Look at those tinted rear windows as well.
8 to 10 on that one is the estimate.
Yep. Now Series 2A Land Rover, diesel.
Yep.
Started up really well. You just have to give it a heat. But yeah, great little Land Rover to use. So practical and in bronze green, ever popular. Now I'm going to mention this, Freddie. So we all love a commercial, a vehicle, a practical classic that you can use and enjoy. Now, we've pitched this, we've put this purposely here. So 2005, 19 years old, many commercials do get a fairly hard time of it, don't they? Used and abused. This one hasn't. I love the fact it's a single cab, which means that you've got a really useful load bay in the back, so you can have a motorcycle.
That's a big space, actually, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Great thing. Fabulous condition. So if you were in the UK, this is what you could have had. So it's the Mazda version of...
You know it's going to last as well. You've got some...
Japanese build quality. Development costs on this were shared with Ford, with the Ford Ranger.
Yes.
And this is what we got in the UK. And I love them. This would be a car you could drive anywhere at all. But if you were stateside and you needed a pickup, This is what you got.
Which is about twice the height, I will say.
Twice the height, twice the size. Sounds very, very, very impressive. It's about 400 horsepower. It's the 5.7 litre V8 Hemi, and it's the four-wheel drive version. So quite unusual.
Driven to the sale.
Driven to the sale from south of London. Great owner. He's a real character.
Yeah. He's had it a while as well.
He's had it a while. He's really enjoyed driving it, but I think because he's been using it daily, he said, I just need something a little bit smaller for now. But what a great thing.
Now,
so we've got another pairing here.
It's almost like we've planned it. This one, should we start with the Bentley?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Bentley Mark 6. Now, obviously, would have started life as a
standard steel saloon. Yep.
4.25 litre. I went out to see this at the gentleman's house. What's really interesting, the chap has owned this, I think, again, around 50 years. He's had it a long time. In fact, so much so that he said, again, you'll see, looking around the car, there is a few things to do. He said the door panels, he said, although they're warped, he remembers they warped in the summer of '76. So that's how long he's had it.
And that was a hot summer. The year
Yes.
I was born, my mum always moans and says that when she was carrying me, it was a hot one.
But what I love about this, so unfortunately we haven't been able to trace down the coach workers that have done it.
Yeah.
We've looked throughout the car. There is some evidence, I say, from other coach workers of similar cars on Mark 6 Bentleys. We've tried to do some digging, but runs and drives, the chap hasn't used it that often. I think he did a prom with his grandson in it most recently.
Yeah.
But I think this is great. Now, really keen guide, £5,000 to £7,000. The amount of calls I've had
We've
on it,
had on this.
Yeah.
I could imagine this on a Scottish estate, Gavin. But I could imagine this on a Scottish estate, picking up people from the station, luggage in it, roof rack on it.
I was going
Great
to,
fun.
you said a roof rack. Can you imagine doing an old Bewley or auto jumble? How good would that look there?
Fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous. Well, it could be you next year, Freddie.
It could be. Yeah, I've got the diary book, to be fair, actually. So I've fingers crossed. But again, sticking with the woody thing.
Yeah, so if you weren't aristocracy and you weren't buying a Mark 6 Bentley, you had
Yes.
a Morris Minor Traveller.
Yeah.
Great, really pretty car. Now this has got the aftermarket seats in it. I think they're from Charles
Ware, is it?
Charles Ware,
Yeah.
yes, you got it. And if you have a look down, if you just point out in there, I'm sorry, it's putting locks.
Yep.
These seats are they're trimmed, so they don't stand out, but they're just far more practical and comfortable. So really good to see.
A nicely presented car, paintwork's good. 6 to 8 guide, I think that's going to do towards the top end. But again, you never know.
You never know. I love this. Now,
Yes.
again, rare cars, small clubs, Vauxhall Carlton, it's the 3000, it's the 24 valve. They don't exist. They really have vanished. Such a specky car.
Yeah.
New.
Digital dash as well.
Digital dash, which is brilliant. You've got electric windows. You've got these lovely leather and cloth sports seats. Just a fabulous car. All but vanished. And I think this is a car that people will be paying attention on, just as they will
On the
for
MR2.
The MR2. Now, Mark II MR2, it's the 16 valve T-bar. What makes this super special and sort of collector grade is the fact it's one owner and it's 18,000 miles. Brilliant colour.
Yeah.
Just look at that with the contrasting black. So you've got silver with the black roof and the black interior. What a great car.
I mean, with that mileage, as say, you're going to be hard pushed to find a
I think you
lower
struggle.
one,
We're
aren't you?
guiding this 15 to 18. One to put away in a collection, I would argue. So, several Mercedes 129 SLs. They come with the hard top and the soft top.
Yep.
Now, this is a 300 SL, 1992, and it's, I think, showing about 36,000 miles, so great to see.
Speaking of cars with hardtops as well, this Honda S2000, one of my favourites.
It's the GT, so
Yep.
with the hardtop.
Driven to the sale. Lovely vendor actually that brought it up here. And we guided this one 8 to 10 off the top of my head. So
8 to 10.
Really, and that was showing 70 odds, I believe, as well. So, you know,
Yeah.
sensible miles.
I've never actually driven one of these any distance. I would love to actually take one of these for a proper drive. I should do it. We've driven them around here locally, but
Yeah.
you know, dynamically, I think they're absolutely spot on.
Now, tell me about that guy.
Oh, so little Peugeot 106 Rally.
Rally.
They were not a particularly expensive car. They sort of spec'd them down at the time in terms of you had steel wheels instead of alloys.
Yeah.
But they're so rare. So many of them have been, well, you can't say never raced nor rallied, but it's a non-sunroof edition. You've got wind-up windows. They are a real hoot to drive. If you haven't driven one, you need to get yourself behind one of these. I think it's a modern version of a classic Mini Cooper.
Yes.
They're lightweight.
Small, nimble, yeah.
Little 1600 engine. It's quite a punchy engine for the size of the car, and I really, really love it. So I think we're showing about 94,000 miles, but super to see, and one owner from new. So that's what makes it super special. How about this RS Custom? So it's the Mark II Escort with a Webasto type sunroof. You've got the fishnet Recaro seats. Look at the condition of those.
They look really good actually, don't they?
5-speed box, great car in white. So that's the theme, I think the theme of
White
today.
thing that's continued, yeah.
Mustang left-hand drive. It's a 67 car with a manual box and a V8 engine. Look at that with the stripe. Striking. 18 to 22,000 pounds regarding that at.
Yeah.
A lot of car for the money. Freddie.
Oh, well, we were saying about earlier with the winning the loudest noise vehicle. I mean, this possibly could contribute. Although, again,
It's a runner-up. Yeah.
a usable car because it's sort of BMW basis.
I don't
isn't
know.
it?
Yeah, if we
might
can
be
just
able to-
lift that
There we
up.
go.
So
If Dale can-
a lot of these are fitted with V8 engines. This is actually fitted with a more contemporary straight six BMW engine. So you've got fuel injection, you've got power steering, you've got ABS brakes. So you've got a lot of modern luxuries.
Yeah.
And if you look at it inside, this is something you could really use.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. Great colour contrast. And we're then going to look at this Vauxhall VX220, 19,000 miles. It's the turbo edition.
And also,
What a colour.
one owner.
One owner does make the world of difference.
And he did actually pop in today, and he had a quick look round. He was very pleased. He said his wife, I think, just wanted a
reassurance
look as well.
of where the car was.
Yes, yeah. So he was pleased to see it, but yeah, that'd be an interesting one to see where that goes on the day.
Excellent. So another white RS Turbo Escort.
Yeah, recently had the wheels refurbished. Well, the sort of diamond cut wheels you'll see on there, Dale.
Yep, they look great. Jaguar Mark II. Now, this started off life, I believe, as a 2.4, but it's now fitted with a 4.2 litre engine. So it's still the XK engine, but 4.2 manual. Gives it far more bang for the buck.
So going into Hall 4 now. This is, now we're not finishing on this hall now.
No, we're finishing in Hall 5. So we'll go through here, then we'll whip round. Dale's, do you need us to, he's saying hurry up. So we're going to be really
try and
quick.
be quick.
So 69 Morris Mini Cooper S, cracking car. Very rare, future classic, and we've paired it behind. So this is a 96 Audi Coupe S2. Now that's the four-wheel drive turbo, rare as Rocking Horse do.
Paired to say what nicely with this one.
Yeah, very similar car, but this is the 2.8 Coupe Quattro still, but non-turbo. Great to see, rare cars.
I'll make a mention of this little Morris Minor that I did have a look at the gentleman's house. Now this one, again, paintwork wise, okay, yes,
it needs painting, but some serious money is being spent on this.
I was looking through the invoices. I think it has a stack from 2019, 2020, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Thousands. The nice thing is when you look at it, look at the headlights, brand new. Look at the badges, brand new. Look at the indicators, brand new.
Wheels, alloy wheels, brand new.
Tyres, brand new. Lots of work done. All the welding they should have been done. Been MOT'd as well. So yeah, that's right.
So we're going to mention this. It's a Land Rover lightweight. Now this is unusual. You really do need to go on the website to read all about it. The lightweight was built for military applications as the sort of air portable lightweight. This one is registered, as you'll see, on a G plate in 1989. It was made, I think it's about the last lightweight ever made, and it was made way after production actually ceased, out of new parts.
Right.
And it has a Rover V8 engine in it. So sounds epic. Driven quite some distance to the auction.
Yeah.
I really, really like this. In red.
Now,
fabulous.
I will make a mention again of this Jensen, the Interceptor. Now, Interceptors always quite desirable. They tend to be on the higher end of the market. You'll see cars easily in the 20s, 30s, you know, quite comfortably. This one, okay, a project. Yes, you'll see bodywork and paintwork will need some attention. But running and driving, guide of £8,000 to £10,000. So I think, and I'm going to place my bets on it, I think it's going to beat that estimate.
Well, let's hope so.
Let's find out.
I'm going to mention a car that's quite unusual. It's a 1934 Chrysler Q. Now, Chrysler, we know that as being an American brand. Why is it called the Chrysler Q? K-E-W. It's called that because it was actually made in West London, in Kew. Their factory, for a period of time, there were several models made over there as genuine right-hand drive cars. So it is a UK-built right-hand drive Chrysler Q6. Unusual, great-looking car. A little bit of great Gatsby about it. You know, there's some real look about it.
You could see that being hired out, you know, used for film or TV.
Absolutely. Well, we'll walk along here. So we already put that down there just so the bonnet doesn't pop down. £14,000 to £16,000. It's the 996 C2 Tiptronic, black on black. Great looking car.
Yeah, that's
really good.
Triumph Stag, driven to the sale again once by our vendor.
Yep.
Nicely presented. We do like a Stag as always.
Now you were talking to the vendor of this Pontiac Firebird, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah. Now this again, it's a bit of a curveball. We were saying about curveballs earlier. You don't see one. Pop-up headlamps too. So
yeah, it's like an alternative to a Corvette.
Yes. Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah, really nicely presented, I think, for the mileage. I think let's have a look on here. Showing 57,000 kilometres, so roughly about 35,000 miles. Our vendor, as I say, they were sad to see it go when they dropped it off, and I think, you know, it's a curveball. You're not going to see another one in a hurry. So
no, yeah. Definitely. Mark II Ford Zodiac, again, doesn't get much more British and 1960s than that.
No.
And if you want
projects,
two little projects here is this 1957. It's an Alpine A106 project, so based on the Renault Dauphine. There's a lot of work to do. It was brought from Europe. It has paperwork with it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of potential you have with that car, as you do with this 1963 Morris Mini. Now, loads of new panels. Look at this bonnet, wings. Look in the car floor pan. We've got the chassis tag in the office, haven't we?
Yep.
Great little project for an early Mini, and I don't remember ever selling one of these in the auction.
No, well, I said to you, Guy, when I looked at the catalogue, I said, how unusual.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. So year 2000, it's a Volkswagen T4 Transporter, but what makes it rare, and you can see how it sits, is it's the Synchro, so it's actually four-wheel drive. Go anywhere. If you want to do a little bit of off-piste camping, this is potentially the one for you. So really unusual.
I will say as well, we're going to do, I think, a separate video on the motorbikes.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of you are interested on the motorbikes.
58, 59, 60 motorbikes in.
Good selection.
We'll do a proper video on that. Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I think we'll do something.
Look at this. So 1988 Fiat X19.
So it's the second X19 that we have in the sale. Again, had a restoration. Looks quite smart. Sticking with the white theme we were talking about earlier.
Brilliant.
5 to 7 guide on that.
So colour sensitive, I really love. So we were looking at the silver one of these earlier. This is an SL 350. But where I think this is set off is this fabulous contrasting interior. I think we're sensible miles on this one as well. Yep. But it really does lend itself to the combination with the interior. Love it. And what haven't we haven't mentioned? Sorry, do you know, we walked right past it. The Mercedes 560 SEC. How could we walk past that? This looks a straight car, doesn't it?
And I was going to say, the thing that I love about this is the pillarless.
Yeah.
In fact, with the windows down, just looks the part, doesn't it?
Yep. Very expensive car when you.
Just about to say, you know, you can imagine sort of an executive cruising about that in that when that was new. Yeah, love it.
So, and behind Dale is the rather modified MG. Now look at that. Have you driven that?
Not me.
Who took that out?
Possibly Dan.
Wants a little bit of titivation, as you can just see. But what a project! So, 1970 Roadster, Sebring body kit, Compomotive split rim alloys, and under the bonnet is. We've got. I don't know if we can open that up actually. Whilst you're having oh no, we're all closed off.
Down, I think,
but there's quite fast road engine that's been in it since 1990. 112 horsepower, so not bad. A lot of fun. Something that a lot of you will know. My lad, when he was here, he was like, remember this. If you're of a certain age, certain era, a Nissan GTR Black Edition is certainly going to be on your shopping list. So quickly finishing up into the last haul, not necessarily in the order they're going to be sold. We have this Alvis TA Kubitz, the convertible.
Yeah.
We have the Nissan 350Z. Again, look at that for a contrasting interior.
Proper tan interior.
It's lovely. Triumph TR6, one of two in the sale.
Always popular.
Audi S5 Cabriolet.
Porsche 914. Now,
rare, really rare.
We haven't had one in quite a while, haven't we?
No. Colour really suits it.
Left-hand drive. It's bold. You're not going to miss it, are you?
Yeah.
10 to 12 guide, which I
don't think it's a huge amount of money. Triumph TR6. Another one here. Now that's on the triple Webers. Great to see. MGB Roadster. Love the bonnet mascot of the hare, and this has this rather unusual aftermarket factory hardtop. You can take it off. It's got a soft top, but that's the Bermuda hardtop. And you look at that car, and I think there's a real car under here. Arrow straight, good door gaps. Now this is the Mark 1 Toyota MR2, but fitted with a supercharger. Japanese import, quite unusual.
What was interesting on that one as well, me and Dan took it out for the photos, got in it, and there was a tape in it with some Japanese sort of techno music, which was very fitting.
Oh, interesting.
I think our vendor's obviously a true JDM fan.
Getting into the theme. Yeah. SL55 AMG, what a car. I love those contrasting wheels on it. They really do set it off. Morris Minor convertible, 1963, ready for those late summer afternoons. going out for afternoon tea.
Land Rover forward control. Now, it's funny actually, because we've had a few of these now consecutively.
We have.
On our classic sales.
I think they're brilliant. So V8 engine, sound great, will go anywhere.
Yeah.
This one's got a brand new canvas
I was going to
roof.
say that must have cost a fortune for the roof to
Yes.
do that.
You've got several acres of canvas on that. I'm actually rare. If I said to you Hunter as a model of car, you think Hillman Hunter.
Yes.
No, this is a 1956 Singer Hunter Saloon. They don't exist.
No.
Love the radiator muff on the front. Very, very genuine car. And if you look at the doors, I don't know if you can just open the doors, you've got the central B pillar, but Dale, if you look at this, it's a bit like a Rover P4.
Yeah.
What easy access you've got. It's lovely. So rarity, guiding this £4,000 to £6,000.
500 SL, I will give a shout out as well. In red, quite unusual.
Don't the wheels set it off as well?
Yeah, 91 car, guided £6,000 to £8,000, and again, obviously got the hard top too, so that'll be a bit of fun for the summer.
Brilliant. Bentley Arnage green label and a chrome bumper, MGB Roadster. I love them with the painted wire wheels. It's an earlier car, retrimmed. It's been restored about 10, 12 years ago, but held up really, really well.
Low mileage Mercedes.
It's okay, really unusual colour as well. Great colour, this one.
And a manual.
Manual,
Too.
even rarer.
Bentley Continental GT. I quite like the interior on this one. I think that works quite well with the sort of cream leather. There you'll see there, kind of walnut dash too.
And how many cylinders? I love these. So you've got 12 cylinders, but in a W configuration. They're fabulous. They're near 600 horsepower.
Yeah.
And they're nearly 200 miles an hour for not a lot of money.
Yeah. A low mileage XJ, let's have a look, showing 27,000 miles. Again,
That's really sharp, isn't it?
really smart. That'd be,
Really
be
lovely.
a nice one again to take away.
Wooden picket. Not wooden picket, sorry.
Holland and Holland.
Holland and Holland, I'm going mad. Holland and Holland Range Rover P38.
I think this is the best colour combo on the.
Absolutely.
It's so good. This kind of dark, sort of chestnut
It's
colour.
David spec.
It is, David. It passes down. We often say at ATA, David the auctioneer, he does quite like a brown interior.
Yeah.
And that's only ticks.
And this is it.
ticks
So there's the
boxes.
V8 4.6 litre petrol, Holland and Holland.
You've also got the matching colour inserts on the wheels too, which differentiates it.
Great to see. Jaguar Mark II 3.8 manual overdrive and a Sunbeam Alpine, the second one in the sale. Great colour as well.
Little Jubilee MGB GT.
Yeah, GT.
Yeah,
I love that with the gold.
Yeah, really looks.
You
really
could
looks
imagine
smart.
them being courtesy cars for Harrods.
Yes.
Back in the day, the green and the gold livery. So that is all the cars. We're not going to go into the Automobilia because Dale says that apparently this does take a while to download this video, and he'd like to have
I think we've kept him
his tea.
Yeah.
So if you've stayed with us this long, well done. Sorry for waffling on.
We can't help it, can we? We're like kids in a sweet shop.
We're enthusiastic.
Yeah.
We love it. We'd love to see you down here. So if you can make the effort and come to Kings Lynn in Norfolk. It's the 24th and 25th of August, 2024. In case you're looking at this in the future, like and subscribe. Come and see us. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got any queries, just get in touch.
We'll see you then.